Howdy folks, back again, and gonna just finish up the 7.3 video series here in the next few weeks, but on the next section, which is the order in which I did my performance mods, right? It's really just in 2 steps. By the way, look at my nice big reused shelf I got. Thing's nice. Gotta get myself stocked up with oil before that's all of a sudden gone up 25% too. So anyways, let's see here. The order in which I did all these. Now, it was really 2 steps, like I said. There was my initial step back shortly after I got the vehicle, and then I just went all out and just kind of did everything at once. So, you know, my thought process was more mechanical based at first, completely. I wanted to have all the mechanicals done before I really got into anything too electronic, right? And so, as a result of such, I didn't do tuning until like really the last thing. So, with that said, my very first thing was just an AFD, you know, air intake. Nothing all too fancy there. Everybody and their mom has an air intake. This was just at the time their whatever stage 2. I don't know. You know, the best one you could get supposedly, right? You know, everybody was selling them and everybody makes them, but now as far as that's concerned, I am thinking about changing that out to something else. Just I am so sick of cleaning air filters. It's just annoying. I just want a reusable one, throw it out, move on. Then I did the exhaust at the same time, back in 2007 there in October. 4-inch exhaust, stainless. It's held up very well. It was a MagnaFlow system, not that that really matters, but, you know, it's just kind of dirty, but, you know, no rust anywhere on the thing, right? So, for the money that was back in 07, it was a lot, but I'm super glad I went full stainless, and will never do an exhaust that's not a full stainless system on one of these. So this one did have a muffler in it and then a resonator, and I've gone back and forth, and right now it's just straight piped. So all MagnaFlow parts there. So then you know, I drove the truck around like that for a long time, and then ended up getting a gooseneck. And at that point I was like, okay, it's time, right? I need to do all this at once, kind of go all in, and I'm kind of glad I did in the way I did it. So with that said, next thing I did was order up a whole ton of stuff, right? So I ordered up some PML diff covers and a pan for the tranny. You know, now that Banks has come out with theirs, these are probably not the best thing, as we all know, to have on there, but that's another discussion there. So ordered those up, ordered up just a Garrett drop-in replacement turbo, the GTP 38R. Wanted to swap out the intercooler. You know, I think that more than likely that's one of the things in this whole list that it's really hard to say if it was really worth the money, but at least I don't have plastic intakes anymore. I did keep the old one. It's sitting right up there in case the day comes when I ever need it or want to build something else that's more so custom. So that's sitting up there. And that obviously the Banks system also came with new piping. Also did a diesel side adrenaline H-pop at the same time, dropped it in there. Did the AFE intake manifold at the same time, put in the automator gauges, just did your standard parameter, trans temp, and let's see, parameter, trans temp, and goodness gracious, obviously I don't look at them very much. The heck am I? I'm losing my mind. Oh, but this was something I actually did want to show you how they're laid out in here. So right there in an F6 or F550, or sorry, F650 dash lower unit. But yeah, anyways, boost. I don't know why I couldn't think of it there. But yeah, I guess I don't really pay too much attention to it because I don't have to worry about it with this setup putting too much pressure into things. So Anyways, diesel sight, 203-degree thermostat, and the billet aluminum housing, because those housings from the factory, those steel ones are just rusty turds and just contaminate everything and a pain in the ass and don't seal worth a shit. That's one of the better $40 you can spend right there. The trans build, number 2. The first one, that's a whole fiasco. It didn't really need to be rebuilt, but it got rebuilt, and bad communication and a whole shit show. So, the build there really includes a ton of stuff, right? And I told them what I was doing with it, and it's kind of a revision too. So it's really kind of a hybrid monster. Has some stuff from, you know, your E4ODs, as well as your, what are they, the 5R transmissions as well. I mean, it's kind of really a Frankenstein transmission from my way that I understand the build that they did. Is built by Detroit transmission specialists down in basically just north of Denver in Arvada. But you know, anyway, so with that, I mean, they did a whole rebuild kit. Obviously, filters, new bands, new bushings, solenoids, drums, pistons, springs, valves, valve assemblies, valve bodies, synthetic fluids, obviously. Let's see, new supports, and a custom torque converter based on what I told them I'd be doing a lot with. I will say that torque converter is probably the single most noticeable thing I've done to this truck. The way it shifts, especially when towing, is phenomenal. The lockup is great, as well as downshifting. I mean, it's just firm, hard, crisp. You know, that torque converter was probably better than half this other crap on this list besides your exhaust system, honestly. So then for all that, you know, I did some DP tunes from DP Tuner, very mild. I think I've got a 40 horse, or I think it's like a 20 horse tow, 40 horse tow, 60 horse mountain tune, and then like a 80 horse performance, right? So nothing by all means crazy. And I typically drive it around town with just the 40 horse tow tune. I just, like I said, I like the shifting of it and the shift parameters and the downshifting, so it saves the brakes a lot. So all that went in at one time there in 2016. So everything from the PML covers down to the trans build all happened within a month of each other. Bought the parts in April. I think I put them in May. And then before I did the tuning and flashed the tuning, I had the tranny, you know, refreshed. And yeah, so all that happened at once. Then upgraded to a different injector drive module in hopes of getting some more voltage there, right? And Mishimoto Digas tank, all right? I did a video on that, I believe. Yes, I think so. And so that was, sorry I didn't put a date there, but that would have been, what, in 2019? In winter of 2019? So that thing's pretty cool. I keep saying if they put even more cooling fins on those, you'd extract a lot more heat out. I know it's under the hood heat, but you're still pulling it out, so I think that would be kind of cool. Other little miscellaneous crap, right? Because this is just mainly the performance related aspect. You know, you got fuel cap, mud flaps. I mean, done shocks, done some groove slotted rotors, brakes. You know, put in a Delta Pro toolbox. I think these Delta Pro boxes are freaking nice. They're beefy. I mean, I can stand on that thing and it doesn't even budge at all. You'll stand on a lot of these more cheesy aluminum boxes and you're like, this thing's not going to last long. The welds and the seams crack. That thing has been awesome since I got it. So that thing was a spendy sucker originally, but worth every dime because it'll probably last me till I'm dead from what I can tell. You know, did a spray and bed liner in there. Oh, I did have the front drive shaft upgraded to different joints, and let's see, basically just the different joints, and allow different type of, God, what else did I do with that thing? I had it basically built so that and this was probably in 2014 or so, had it built so that way if I do a 4-inch or even a leveling kit, all the angles will be perfect with it, even though you don't need to, and it's you know, everything's lengthened just the way it needs to be on the slip joint and everything. So and then obviously the B&W gooseneck hitch, put that guy in. That was easy, honestly. I did that by myself in my old small teeny garage in probably like 2 hours. I've never done one before, but I'm glad I over drilled the hole. Instead of buying, I think it was a 4-inch hole saw, I bought the 4 1/4 or 4 1/8, and so it just gives you a little bit more space in there too. So I'm glad I did that so the dirt doesn't collect in that little hole. So anyways, all this to say, this recipe here has been good for me. No regrets really. I think that once again that Banks Technicolor, was it really worth the money? Don't really know. Probably not at this point. Now, future things that I'll probably do, I mean, I got 260, 6K, whatever, and I'm still in stock injectors, stock fueling, stock injectors. I think that that's probably going to be the next step I go, but that's probably a ways out. If anything, performance related wise, that's as far as this truck will go. I don't ever see having a goal of 550 horse with a 7.3 with this one. I guess that could change, but you never know. For right now, it tows really, really well, and outruns this truck, even though this one's stock. But I had it on this guy here on the dyno a couple weekends ago, and considering the tuning and the stock fueling, I guess I'm happy with the horsepower numbers. I mean, it's a 7.3, right? No rocket ship, but definitely the torque numbers, very happy with. And I'll share those with you guys in another video shortly. So this will be your recipe to make those kind of numbers, if that's what you're after. And I guess the last thing I was going to mention, that there's really a performance mod, it could be, but one of the things I'll likely do very next, as long as the injectors don't start having any issues, is swap the factory fuel tank in this, the one under the bed, with an aftermarket direct replacement. Not the one that sits in the bed or anything, but an aftermarket direct replacement. Because these, what is it, like a 26, 27 gallon tank, absolutely sucks. If you're empty, it's fine, right? You might get about 450 to 530 miles on a tank, right? Now, if you're towing, hello, fuel station. And that just gets, nothing's more annoying than that when you're towing the gooseneck and you can't, shop your fuel a little bit better. It'd be so nice to have some extra capacity in there so that literally I can drive about 800 to 1,000 miles on one fill up. So that's probably going to be, if anything else, that'll be the next big money I spend on any type of modification for this guy. So with that said, I'll let you guys go, and thanks for watching, and please comment and ask any questions if you have any. Thanks.